Right.
Are you aware that there's this whole debate here, and I don't know who's on which side, and I could be butchering the whole issue, but bottom line is there's a proposal, and they call it the cha-cha. It's called the charter change. Ever heard about this at all?
No, I've never heard of it. All I
Basic,
know is cha cha is a dance.
yeah. So there's uh, the government that we have here, like the type of democratic government. Do you know what it's called?
No.
Presidential or something like that. I'll be butchering it. I have no uh I know to talk about this, but before you get into that,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a proposal to change whatever government we have here in the Philippines now to turn it into a parliamentary type of government,
Mm,
which is the constitution.
right.
That's why it's charter change, and it's this whole debate about updating it or changing it or whatever. I don't know who's on which side, if Marcos, Duterte, or both of them are on the same side or whatever. I don't really know the intricacies about the whole thing, but basically, it's a proposal to change it into uh, parliamentary, which is like what they have, I think, in European and Australia. I think they have it that way too, right?
Right.
I was
Right. They do.
wondering if you wanted to take like 10, 20, 30 seconds to say anything about that, because I'm not really caught up with it, but it's been going on for the past like 5, 10,
I
15 years
haven't I
already.
haven't heard much of it, but I think for the Philippines, it might be a good idea. Why? Um, it's hard for me to really. Well, it's hard for anybody in my position to give my opinion on something like that because, although I am Filipino, most of my adult life has been lived here in the States.
Mm-mm.
But still, I think the structure is needed.
Yeah,
The
yeah. So
proper structure is needed.
so that's what we were talking about last week. How the Philippines is a lot like the U.S., etc., etc. And then I was thinking, this. It's interesting to look into because it's such a totally different way that you guys are running your government, and maybe, just maybe, parliamentary is the way to run it for us.
See, that's the thing, though. It could cause two problems because being in the parliament, there's so many free opinions that's being
Yeah.
floated around here, around there. That's just the facts of that, and that's what causes the problem in regards to making laws or setting standards. Because individual opinion, sad to say, in human nature, it's hard to let go of your personal opinion, especially if it's something like that. It would have been
Mm-mm.
nice if they look at the grander scheme of things, where Parliament would decide to just look at the issue as a whole in regards or relation to everybody's perspective, how it might benefit others, not just their opinion.
Mm-mm.
I know it sounds kind of standoffish to say something like that, but from my experience, or not my experience, point of view, and from what I see, it's exactly what's going on. Too
Mm-mm.
many
Mm-mm.
opinions are being too singular instead of making an opinion as a whole. Now,
No.
on the good side of it, if they come up with a good when they do get into the same page on things,
Mm.
it could definitely benefit the country as a whole.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't have too much of an opinion about that. I didn't want to take too much time talking about it. I just wanted to get you up to speed on,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's probably one of the things that the candidates, presidential candidates, are going to be running for on the next election, and they're always bringing it up,
Right,
and
right.
it's always somewhere there where it's always being talked about. Like